Ya arrancamos en breve. You drinking coffee? Me too.
Always. I always have to drink coffee. Yeah.
Yes, I like this.
At least 2 or 3 a day is what I have.
I have about the same, like 3, minimum 3. So.
You know, people say like, oh, I don't drink coffee, or, you know, I don't like the taste of coffee, and I'm just like, how do you survive? Like, how do you get through the day without coffee? It's like the first thing before.
At night?
Do I drink coffee at night? Well, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I can. Like, I can drink coffee and then go to sleep. Well, not all the time. I try not to do that, but I mean, like back when I was in school, and you know, if I have to like do homework and stuff and I have to do it very late, then yeah, I would drink coffee. But at least like I won't have coffee maybe no later than 7, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I cannot stand to decaf coffee.
Decaf is useless.
No.
Yeah, decaf is useless.
There's no point for decaf.
It's like non-alcoholic beverages, decaf coffee just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Amen. Good.
Yeah.
This one, we're going to be talking about coffee today. We're not going to be talking about
no,
right?
just coffee. Just coffee.
Just
Why
coffee,
we love coffee
yes.
so much? Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. We kind of like Colombian roast, Arabica.
Yeah. We can talk about different kinds of beans, different ways of brewing coffee, different ways of drinking coffee.
I love it. Macchiato, single double macchiato.
Iced, you know.
Oh, over ice, yeah. Why not?
Yeah, over ice, yeah.
Let's get started because we have so many topics to talk about. And first of all, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
thank you for asking me. Yeah.
It's a pleasure. And so the idea of this chat is also translated into Spanish for the Spanish speaker. Obviously, don't speak English. So
Right.
So how we're gonna do it, you know, we chat already about how this is gonna happen for just like the people to know. So we're just gonna say the topic for you, and then straight away I'm gonna translate the question in Spanish, and then you will talk. I'm gonna write down some notes, and then immediately after you finish, I go into the Spanish, and then so on at the end of the chat, and then we go a question and answer moment at the end.
All right, sounds good. Good.
So I'm gonna translate that for the Spanish speakers. Gente, el sistema de lo que vamos a estar trabajando hoy, tenemos muchos temas para el cual hablar. Voy a hacer la pregunta en inglés y inmediatamente la voy a traducir al español. Él va a contestar y hago notas y después voy al español y así sucesivamente. Preguntas van a ser al final, así que si tienen alguna duda o les va a surgir una duda, les recomiendo que por ahí anótenla, tengan a mano un papel, un lápiz, lo que sea, para escribir, porque yo voy a estar enfocadísima durante la charla en escucharlo y en traducir, así que no voy a estar leyendo los comentarios durante la charla, porque voy a tener que hacer doble trabajo, traducir y escuchar. Así que les agradecería si se guardan las preguntas al final. Así que vamos a arrancar. Okay, let's get started. So, I put like 2, as I sent you the picture, I got like 2 parts for this chat. It's more like the first one, more about you and your experience. And then the second part is more your point of view regarding this community.
Right.
So talking about the first part, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit, like how many years of experience you have in locking or other dance styles? Yeah, let's go, let's start with that, and let me say that in Spanish really quick. Son dos partes la entrevista. La primera parte es un poco más de él, su historia personal, y la segunda va enfocada más al trabajo de comunidad. Y la pregunta que le hago específicamente para esta primera parte es un poco de él, sus años de experiencia en el locking y si baila algunas otras disciplinas. Yeah, go for it.
All right. All right. So my name is Keegan, aka Keylock, and I'm from Toronto, Canada, which is a little bit closer to the east side of Canada. And I first started dancing when I was about 15, and I started with breaking and did that for a few years, and then did maybe like other styles, like tried all these other styles, did choreo, like a little bit of choreography and house, popping, hip hop. Like I just sort of just went all over the place. And actually going back a little bit more, I first found locking when I was about 16 or 17, and it's because of I found a like 4-week program in the summertime, and I was really trying to learn more popping, but they also had locking as part of the program too. So I decided to sign up for it, but I didn't know what locking was. I thought it was the same thing. So the first 2 weeks was locking in that camp, and I remember like I didn't like it at first because I was just like, what is this? Like it looks so stupid or whatever. But after I was trying it out, I was like, okay, it actually feels good. Like I like it. And then we did popping, and then I remember like I think I did better with locking than popping. So yeah, so I actually started to really like locking after, but I didn't really take it seriously after that. And then eventually I went to do all the other styles that I was originally doing, or I wanted to try other stuff. And then maybe about 2009, I came across like locking videos again, just on like maybe YouTube or just wherever. And then I was watching these locking videos, and then it kind of inspired me to kind of pick up locking again. So I think like the locking video that I saw was like, it was a video of like an old video of like Mr. Wiggles locking. And then I think I also saw like EB Skeeter Rabbit and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, like I think I want to try this out again. So then, so yeah, that's how I got back into locking. And then I was sort of just like learning by myself, but then I officially started training with a teacher in 2010, and then I haven't stopped ever since. So,
nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who were your first teachers in the 2010 then?
Okay, so the first person I went to, he is actually from here as well. His name is Pyro.
Pyro,
Pyro. So he does a bunch of different styles. Like he's also a breaker and a popper, but he also did locking too. And he was pretty much like the only locking teacher at the time, because there were a lot of locking teachers before, but a lot of them, they maybe moved to a different city or a different country, or some of them just retired or just stopped dancing or stopped locking. And then he was the only one teaching at the time, and I really wanted to learn. So I went to him. Like I was just tired of learning off of videos, and I really wanted like a teacher of some sort. Mm-hmm. So I went to his class, and I remember like I was there like every single night, like he was teaching. It was like Tuesday night, and for like at least 2 years straight, I was always in that class. So yeah, because I really wanted to learn. So yeah, that's like my first teacher.
Oh, is he still teaching?
He doesn't teach like not like he doesn't teach anymore, like in terms of drop-in classes, but he teaches like I guess he just teaches, you know, studios and competitive programs, and he has his own company now, so he's more like doing that. So I don't think he does drop-in classes anymore. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to translate that for a bit. Bien, gente. Él es de Toronto, su acá es Keylock. Toronto está más al este de Canadá. Empezó cuando tenía 15 años, empezó más con el breaking, con all styles, coreografías dentro de house, popping, esos estilos. Y el locking lo conoció recién. I'm doing an interview. Sorry about that. It's like I share the house, so that could happen. Se metió mi compañero de cuarto, por eso, de casa, por eso. Empezó específicamente con el locking cuando él tenía entre 16 y 17 años en un programa de verano, donde las primeras 2 semanas, o sea, era locking y popping, y las primeras 2 semanas era locking, luego el popping, ¿sí? Él no tenía idea qué era el estilo, el locking, y dice que al principio no le gustó, era como que, onda, ¿qué es esto? Se ve estúpido, decía, como que no se sentía en el estilo, y hasta que lo empezó a sentir, y como que le gustó, y dijo, como que está bueno esto, se sentía bien, eso como que lo remarca, como que lo hizo sentir bien el locking. Y después pasaron a las 2 semanas de popping. Pero lo que sí se acuerda es que al final le fue como mejor en el locking que en el popping. Años más adelante, ya en el 2009, se conecta viendo videos de locking y como que eso lo inspira a querer volver a estudiarlo al estilo. Y particularmente fue un video de Mr. Wiggles que vio, que fue como que quiero volver a esto. Lo vio bailar, también este Skeeter Rabbit, otro bailarín, y fue como que lo que lo motivó a volver al estilo. Ya para el 2010 encontró a su primer maestro, Byron, también de Canadá, que era más, enseñaba all styles, pero era el único maestro de locking en ese momento. Él menciona ahí un dato importante, que la charla él la hace en inglés y yo la traduzco al español. Y lo que menciona ahí, que es muy importante, es que hubo maestros antes de ese tiempo, pero que se fueron para otras ciudades o dejaron el país, o algunos dejaron de enseñar. Entonces él encontró a Byron y por 2 años, todos los martes, iba a su clase. Y eso fue como su primer maestro, y así fue como su historia. También le pregunté si el tipo sigue enseñando, y me dijo como que no tiene drop-in clases, o sea, las clases como sueltas, que vos podés ir cuando quieras, sino que sigue trabajando, pero más privadamente. Good, so, thank you.
Yeah, no
Going
worries.
into more specifically, like, all the teachers that you learn from, and when did you meet Don? Because I believe that you met Don Campbell, right?
Yeah, actually, I met Don, I would say it's not that long ago.
Okay.
So I met him in 2015, and I was actually at the Las Vegas locking camp. That was actually the first year that I went. And yeah, so it was the first year that I went because I saw that Don was going to be there, and it was Don's first time at that camp. So I was really excited, and I was like, okay, I have to go. So, so yeah, that's where I met him the first time. It was the summer of 2015. And actually I met him like in the lobby of the hotel that we were all staying at. And I remember like, I just went downstairs from the elevator to get something to eat, or maybe just to meet up with some friends and whatnot. I can't remember what we were doing, but I saw Don just sitting right there. I didn't recognize him at first, but then I saw him and I was like, wait, is that Don? And then like, I remember I got so excited. I was like, I ran up to him and I'm like, hey, Don. And he was just like, what? I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I'm gonna be at the camp. It's like, I didn't know what to say, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be at the camp, and you know, I'm just really, it's an honor to meet you. I'm really excited. And he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, yeah, here, come. He's like, sit down. So he asked me to sit down with him. We had a great talk. We had a great conversation. So yeah, I mean, it was great. He's just such a good spirit, and you know, he just very encouraging, and you know, such good energy. So I really remember that moment. And then I remember like as I was still talking to him, and more of our friends came down from the elevator, and then we all just crowded around and just listened to him talk. And yeah, that was like the first time that I met him. And then like, yeah, and then of course throughout the whole weekend of the camp, you know, of course we talked to him and listened to him like every day. So yeah, that's the first time I met him.
What would you say, like, the thing that you took from him, if you can put it in words, the lesson, the advice, or like if you want to summarize something, one phrase or something that you want Like maybe something he did, maybe something he said, something you felt.
So the message of Dawn,
say that you don't want to forget, I would say.
Well, the message that Dawn will tell all of us, and you know, pretty much like everyone would agree to the message. That's pretty much the message that everyone that has talked to him has gotten. Is really just be yourself, be authentic, and you know, he said, take my dance and make it you. You know, make it yourself, make it like put your own flavor into it. So yeah, that's pretty much what his message is. He just wasn't, you know, he was very giving. He wasn't selfish with the dance because he's like, this is what I created, or what he would say is the man upstairs had allowed me to create, to give to all of you, and you all can pretty much just do what you want with it. You know, make it you and make your trademark. Be the next Don Campbell, as he said. So yeah, rest in peace. It's been a really hard month for everyone because of it. So yeah.
Okay, let's translate that. Le pregunto en qué año conoció a Don Campbell y cómo fue su experiencia de haberlo conocido. Menciona que fue allá por el 2015 en un evento que se hace en Las Vegas durante el verano que se llama Vegas Locking Camp. Y ese año era como el año que iba a estar Don Campbell ahí, entonces él dijo, tengo que ir. Y dice que la manera en que lo conoció fue como muy random, porque él estaba bajando por el ascensor, y de eso va así, dice, no me acuerdo para qué estaba bajando, para buscar comida o lo que sea, y de golpe así, pum, lo veo sentado, y como que al principio dice, no lo reconocí. Y después me di cuenta, Chuck, Don Campbell. Y como que se acercó así, viste, con toda la energía, y ¡hey, Don! Le dice, ¡hey, Don! Y el loco se quedó como, Entonces le dice, perdón, viste, no te quise, qué sé yo, asustar o algo así. Entonces el otro, sentate acá. Te lo voy a hacer así con lunfardo bien argentino. Vení, sentate, pibe. Dice que tuvieron una gran charla, que sí, que remarca la energía de él, viste. Y entonces ahí yo le pregunto, como, ¿qué elegirías decir o si tenés algo que no te querés olvidar del haber conocido a Don Campbell? ¿Qué es? Digamos, algo que dijo, algo que hizo, algo que sentiste, ¿qué elegirías? Y él me dice que el mensaje que él específicamente dice, Don, que dice be yourself, be authentic, es sé tú mismo, sé auténtico, auténtica. Él dice, toma mi danza y hacela tuya. Dice, no, él dice que no era egoísta, Keegan dice, él no era egoísta con su danza, que él creó. Dice que él le dice a la gente, sé el próximo Don Campbell. O próxima. All right, so I'm just like, it's difficult because I have to speak in like both gender in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
when I say
that's fine.
So I like to include women as well. So when you say be yourself, like when you say, for example, authentic, right? So that is, in English, it's both for like male and female, right? But in Spanish, we go auténtica, auténtico. So that's why I can use both, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Language.
Interesting, yeah.
It is interesting, yeah. So just like for finishing this section about you and your training in locking and all of these things, so my question for you is key points that you learned within these years, right, as a locker, key points or lessons or things that you say, okay, you know, like you have some things. And then other question will be like how, under like your point of view, what do you think locking was before and like what locking is looking now? So just talking about the aspect, like how it looks, right? How it was like before, because we know for that generation, right? So we can only have our own feeling or perception, right? And regardless what we know, right? So this is more like a personal question, how you, Keegan, feel about this, right?
Okay.
And then how you feel about now.
Okay.
Yeah, so key points or you're learning, right? How you see the locking before and now. And then why you think it's important learning history and culture about this. Okay, so I'm going to translate that in Spanish really quick.
Okay, so what do you want me to answer first? What's the first question? Like,
the key points that you learned, right?
Okay, the key points that I learned, and then
gonna translate. Yeah, let me translate that really quick, and then I go back with you. Le pregunto las cosas cosas claves que ha aprendido en sus años como locker, hasta de sus años, que puede nombrar como enseñanzas claves o cosas que ha aprendido. ¿Cómo ve la escena, cómo ve el locking de antes comparado con el de ahora? Y por qué es importante aprender la historia y la cultura en el locking. Esas son las preguntas. So, let's start with the first one, like the key points you learned within these years.
Within these years. So, for me, everything changes every single year when I'm doing this dance, really. Like for my first years of locking, like all I really wanted to learn was the dance and how to do the dance properly. And when I first was doing locking, like I cared so much about perfection. I only wanted to do like my moves like very clean and the way that, I learned from my teachers, or the way that, watching some of the pioneers or the OGs are doing it. But I really just wanted to make sure that my locking looked good. And I cared so much about that. But because of that reason, I didn't really go beyond the foundation, and I kept it as just a foundation until my teachers or other lockers or other dancers just told me, like, your foundation is very clean. And yes, we know you're a locker, like you made your point, but what are you going to do beyond that, right? So then after I learned that it's important to, now that you have your foundation, it's important to now go beyond the foundation and really see what else can you do, how else can you think outside the box, what can you do now to make it you, and ever since Don Campbell gave me the advice, or given all of us the advice of how are you going to make the dance you, right? How are you going to make it your dance? So, that was such a hard question for me to answer for myself, because I'm like, because I learned, I feel like my mentality with dance was to always just like copy it the way that I was taught. And I never really figured out how to like kind of go beyond that and make it my own. But as I like kind of started letting go more and more, and really learning that the music is actually the most important thing, right? Music should be the guide, not the dance. So once I started focusing more on the music, it really made the dance part a lot easier in figuring out how to do my dance. Because at first it was like, okay, I'm going to figure out how I can do Skeeter Rabbit or Scooby-Doo or the points to this. Thinking about the dance first had really held me back. So instead of doing the dance, think about the music first, and then the dance will follow after. That's like one thing that I've learned over the years. And to not be afraid of like kind of trying different things. So for me to also like try train in different styles, like I definitely have added different styles and different inspirations into my dance, and that's okay. So for me, like I've been training house for maybe the past 2 or 3 years as well. So taking a lot of those elements and putting it in my locking too has been really helpful. So one thing, so the biggest thing that I realized with locking is that it's okay to go beyond the foundation, go and experiment a bit more, but as long as you do have the foundation. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Nice. So moving in the next section, the next question was how you think that locking was before and how it's looking now.
How it was before? It's hard for me to answer that because I wasn't there, right? Like if people would tell me, of course, like locking started in the 70s, so every decade had its own had its own way of locking, right? So, I'm sure locking was probably really big in the 70s when Don Campbell, made it popular being on Soul Train, and everyone tried to copy him. So everyone was doing it in the club maybe. And then of course we have the 80s style locking, with the Valley style, or, like Chain Reaction, Body Magic, and those people. So I've only seen like videos of like how they did locking back then, but of course, like I wouldn't be able to understand if I wasn't there. So I can only really talk based on like the stories that they've told me, but it'd be hard to still speak on it because, like, as I said, I wasn't there. So, but yeah, like I think that what's changed in general is just like the competitions that we have. So all the battles and competitions, the big competitions now, like Juste Debout and Summer Dance and all the locking battles around the world, in Asia, maybe some here in North America. So I think that that has really kept the dance alive nowadays, because people now have the motivation to do the battles or the competition. I won't necessarily call them battles, but I'll call them like contests and competitions. More people have like the incentive to keep training in these dance styles because of these contests. So I think that's the driver now in general for most dancers. And I feel like back in the day, like it was mostly about the parties. Like it was mostly about going to the parties and really just enjoying the music, having fun, right? So, could be I mean, maybe I'm not right about that. Like, who knows? Maybe because I know like they had dance contests back in the day too. Because like Don entered dance contests, Scooby entered dance contests. So everyone was like everyone had some sort of incentive in that way to be like a winner in something, right? Yeah, but in general, it's like, what I see back in the day was like, everyone was just more about going to the clubs and just getting down, and, that's all they needed. Today, I would say that, yes, the contests are great, but we also shouldn't forget about the party aspect and those socials, because that's really like the element of where this dance came from, and we should not forget about that. So yeah, I mean, it's good to evolve the culture in that way, but also like just don't forget about the elements that existed before. So yeah.
So, and then the last bit was about the importance of learning history and culture. What do you think about that?
Importance of learning history and culture is, I think, is very important. It's important to know who came before you and what came before you, so that you understand what you're doing right now, right?
Wow. Say that again. I like that.
Okay, so there's a quote. Not sure if you have like a Spanish version, but the quote is, you can't know where you're going unless you know where you came from, right?
Okay, let me write down. Oh, nice.
Okay. You don't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Just think of it like your parents, right? Like, your parents gave birth to you into this world. You're gonna, of course, learn a lot from your parents. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to follow exactly 100% what your parents are saying, but there are like certain, and of course, like you're gonna learn different things on your own. But of course, like there's gonna be a lot of lessons that your parents have given you, which you will hold forever, right? So it's a way, like I see that with like, in learning history and culture, it's like, you have to know how something came into existence and why it came into existence, knowing who the important people were that contributed to that existence. And that will allow you to have more of an appreciation for what you're doing now. And from that on, it's like you can still take that history, but still make it your own and still build upon that. And that's how we really continue the cycle of evolution, is to, know like know where it came from, but also figure out how you're going to move forward with it, right? And that's how we and it's important because we also need to preserve the culture, preserve the dance. So, yeah, like if you can't really forget about the foundation or forget about the, how would I say it? Like, what's that word? Okay, well, the point is, like, to be able to, like, preserve the foundation of something, like, we just can't forget about how they were doing it back then, right? So, like, if it was, like, locking, then, you know, like, you don't want to just teach locking to someone and then all of a sudden they don't study any history and then they're just going to try and do it in their own way. And then there's going to be, like, the fear of them taking the dance and then kind of just changing it to something completely different and then still calling it locking, right? And when that happens, that could really, like, take away the credit of someone who created that, you know, who created something for you. But instead of you taking that and honoring it, you just took it, messed it up completely, made it your own. And that's, like, why we can't let that happen. And that's why it's very important to understand history. So, yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me translate all of that. Let's go back. Rewind. Good. Okay. Now in Spanish. Yeah, go here. Bien, las preguntas, le pregunté los puntos claves que encontró, que aprendió en el tiempo que lleva haciendo locking, digamos, qué enseñanzas encontró, como después la otra pregunta, bueno, respondiendo eso, dice que cuando él arrancó aprendiendo locking, se concentró en aprenderlo como apropiadamente al estilo. Es como que él estaba casi como pensando en perfeccionarlo, el estilo, en aprenderlo correctamente, que los movimientos sean limpios, que sean precisos, toda esa parte como del perfeccionismo de cuando uno arranca, ¿sí? Que él se quería asegurar que su locking se viera bien, que se viera el locking, ¿sí? Ahora, ¿qué pasó? Lo que él veía o lo que le hicieron ver es que él no iba más allá de los fundamentos. Hasta un maestro le dice, sí, tenés bien los fundamentos, se ve que haces locking, pero ¿qué más podés hacer? Le preguntan, ¿no? Le dice, think outside the box, le dicen, como pensar afuera de la caja. ¿Qué más hay? Porque él ahora cita de nuevo a Don Campbell, de hacer tuya la danza, ¿no? Entonces, para él fue una pregunta muy dura esa, digamos, de cómo hacer eso, de ir más allá de los fundamentos, ¿bien? Dice que, porque mentalmente él estaba como formateado a que copiar era la única manera, ¿sí? Entonces, dice que dejarse soltar, dejarse ir, era muy difícil para él. Entonces creo que acá como que menciona uno de esos puntos, que él dice que lo más importante fue que dejar que la música lo guíe, no la danza. Que como que empiece por la música y no la danza en sí. Y ahí fue como le hizo el switch, digamos. Porque pensar en los moves, en los movimientos, en la danza, en los pasos, o lo que sea, lo retenía, en vez de hacerlo mover hacia adelante. Entonces, dice como que eso, la música, como punto principal, dejarse llevar por la música, y no tener miedo de ser diferente, de probar cosas diferentes, también entrenar otros estilos y usar elementos de esos estilos. Dice él que está bien ir más allá de la danza, de los fundamentos, ¿sí? Pero es importante que los conozcas a los fundamentos y que tampoco es irse de mambo, ¿sí? Eso como en cuanto a esa primera pregunta. La segunda pregunta fue cómo veía el locking antes, desde su punto de vista, y cómo lo ve ahora. Él responde que es difícil para él responder esa pregunta porque él no estaba ahí, ¿sí? Él es de ahora acá. Entonces, ¿cómo voy a hablar yo de algo donde yo no estuve? Pero habla un poco ahí de cosas concretas, como en los 70, el furor de Don Campbell, de Soul Train, digamos, como con lo que eso implica en cómo se ve el locking. Después menciona en los 80 el Valley Style, nombra a Body Magic, Chain Reactions, que son grupos específicos de personas, ¿no? Entonces como que muestra el contraste ese de como cada época tiene su propio sabor, su propio flavor, su propio estilo. Entonces él dice, yo no puedo entender si yo no estuve ahí, pero lo que sí dice que para él ha cambiado es el tema de las competiciones, como que ahora tenés batallas a nivel mundial, como en su momento el Jazz Debut, Summer Dance, son eventos que mueven todo el mundo, digamos, y que las competencias son a gran escala. Y que, según él, es como que eso es lo que ha mantenido la danza viva, ¿sí? Esa motivación por la competencia. Como que antes era más por el tema de la fiesta, de la celebración, de pasarla bien, y todo eso. Tenían también competiciones, porque se sabe eso, de que tenían esos... como que todos los días, a la noche, en el boliche, tenían esas competiciones de baile, y como que todos querían ganar en algo. Estaba eso, digamos, del querer ganar en algo. Pero que la fiesta y el elemento social estaban muy fuertes en ese tiempo. Y como que mencione que ahora no lo deberíamos olvidar a eso. Y que como que qué onda la fiesta y todo eso ahora, como que tal vez no es tanto como antes. Le pregunto, y la última pregunta fue qué tan importante es saber la historia y la cultura. Y ahí fue cuando él dijo esa frase que yo la anoté, porque venía hablando de que uno tiene que saber lo que estuvo antes para entender lo que está pasando ahora. Entonces dice, vos no podés ir a ningún lado, adelante, vos no podés ir a ningún lado si vos no sabés de dónde venís. Entonces dice, pensá en tus padres, que vos vas hacia ellos para adquirir conocimiento, para conocer más de tu familia, para conocer más de vos, y las lecciones que ellos te pueden enseñar a vos. Digamos, esto es como lo mismo en la cultura. Las contribuciones de la gente, de bailarines, bailarinas de antes, de lo que han hecho en el aporte, es importante saber esos aportes que hizo la gente, porque así es el ciclo de evolución, digamos. Es cómo muevo hacia adelante, pero tengo que preservar la danza, tengo que preservar todo eso que se hizo antes, ¿sí? No se puede dejar de lado los fundamentos, lo que ya pasó, porque ¿qué pasa? Cuando se empieza a enseñar, si no tengo eso, puedo estar enseñando lo que quiera. Entonces se desfigura, y si se desfigura, es como perderle, sacas el honor a todo lo que hicieron antes, todo lo que se hizo antes, y ese es el peligro, digamos. Entonces es muy importante como conocer ese pasado, las contribuciones, lo que se hizo, digamos, para entender lo que pasa ahora, y bueno, y también para pensar en cómo se sigue, digamos. Good, so, that's good. Hope you're having fun.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying myself.
Maybe like learning some Spanish.
Trying to catch on. I'm trying to see, like, can I understand any words? And I feel like the only word, and I'm like, yeah, my Spanish is terrible. So
can you like figure out like what I'm saying, like kind of like what things I'm saying?
I feel like it's only the words that are like similar to English that I would be able to get, and yeah, no, I'm.
Because you do like you nod your head like I think I know what she's saying. Maybe
just agreeing.
Maybe
like,
she's
yes.
talking about rapping.
I don't know. Keegan, he sucks. He's terrible. Yes. Yeah.
No, I won't do that. How is the people doing? Are we enjoying it? Like
for some reason, I think the comments are frozen for me. I can't see like anything, but it's okay. I don't know if anyone.
I think Traveler is saying, Keegan, I can teach you some Spanish next time we meet. That's great. Right, so first part, Done. Good. We're
Sweet.
saving the live stream, people, so you can go back after it, but stay now. Don't leave. Don't be lazy, because you probably won't watch it afterwards. You know what's happening? Oh, the live is 24 hours. Oh, damn.
It happens. I'm always like, yeah, I'm like, yo, I missed the class, or I missed the interview, and then I see they saved it, but then afterwards I'm like, I'll watch it later. And the video's gone by then, and I'm just like, oh shit.
I know. Right. So now I think this is very interesting when we're gonna go now into community. So, boom, love to talk about, and vamos a empezar a hablar de comunidad ahora. Así que a cebarnos con esta data. The first question is, what do we have to understand about community? So, ¿qué tenemos que entender acerca de comunidad? Shoot me.
Well, community is important, and the most important thing about community is really to provide like a safe space for everyone to be able to really express themselves with whatever dance style it is that they do, right? So when it comes to the locking community, I think that the aspect of community is more important, because I don't think that locking is necessarily the first style that people do, because like I said before to you, like people prefer breaking, popping, and maybe like choreography and stuff, right? Like there's so many styles that people prefer to do because there's more people, but then there's also like a lot of styles that maybe is not as popular for some reason, like, you know, and we're trying to figure that out. But that's why a community is so important, because we need all the support that we can get from each other, right? So if you don't come together, then everything is going to be separated and the community is going to remain small. But as we all come together, we, you know, not only does it let other people know that a community exists, but it also allows us to really learn from each other and really share information and knowledge amongst each other. Most certainly, like, because of the locking community around the world, like, I'm able to see, like, you know, how people dance in this country. Now I know how people dance in Argentina. You know, and even like in the UK, I see how they dance, and, you know, I've connected with them too. So it's really how we all glue ourselves together so that we can really just keep building on the style and keep making it a lot bigger and evolving, right? Because every other style has its own networks, and, you know, locking should be no different. Locking should have its own network too of people. So yeah, I mean, with regards to community, like, I think like in North America, I think all the lockers in North America know each other, because there's not too many of us. Like, you go to any city and can only count like a certain amount of lockers with your hand only, because there's just not that many of them. But the thing is, like, we all know each other, you know, we're all like connected through social media. We're all in like a, you know, a chat group all together, and, you know, we share ideas and talk about locking and issues in locking, trying to figure out how we can build it and make it more popular. So yeah, that network is, and that support is very important. So yeah, that's why community is important, especially for locking.
Good. Nice. Bien, entonces la pregunta fue eso, ¿por qué la comunidad es importante? No, perdón, ¿qué tenemos que entender de la comunidad? Y habla de la comunidad es importante. Que la comunidad provee el espacio que te sentís a salvo para expresarte. Ese espacio es seguro para poder expresarte vos mismo, vos misma, ¿sí? Y la particularidad del locking es que no es un estilo que la gente va a elegir como el principal estilo para arrancar. Es como que siempre van como primero por el breaking o el popping o el hip hop, como que no vas directo al locking. Si vos arrancás a bailar, no, es como muy raro que alguien vaya directo al locking. Entonces por eso es como especial de que haya, por eso es importante que haya ese apoyo en la comunidad, digamos, por lo que implica bailar locking, ¿sí? Que haya apoyo entre todos y todas. Si no hay apoyo, él habla que empieza como la segregación la separación en donde donde esté el locking. Entonces como que están todas las islitas de lockers así, y como que las comunidades están como chiquititas y no algo grande, unido. Entonces ese es como el peligro, si no hay comunidad, terminan siendo mini comunidades aisladas, y ese es como el peligro, digamos, porque siempre se va a quedar como chiquito. Lo que tiene la comunidad, el trabajo de comunidad, es solidario, se trabaja entre todos, todas, se aprende de todos y todas, se pasa la información, que todos crezcan juntos, todos y todas crezcan juntos y juntas, ¿sí? Y eso también, digamos, es algo que se puede hacer hasta globalmente, eso, porque hoy por hoy se puede conectar con las comunidades de Argentina, con acá UK o Inglaterra, Reino Unido, todo el mundo, ¿sí? Con Estados Unidos, se puede conectar a nivel global y así hacer que la comunidad crezca y evolucione. ¿Por qué no? Él plantea, ¿por qué el locking no puede tener sus redes de contacto? Como así el popping y el breaking y todas las otras estilos tienen sus redes de contacto, ¿por qué no el locking? Menciona el buen uso de las redes sociales. Y dice, acá todos nos conocemos con todas y todas, nos tenemos agregados en Facebook, sabemos lo que estamos haciendo, se debate, creamos foros, nos mantenemos activos, hacemos discusiones, lo que está pasando acá, las problemáticas, cómo hacemos que el locking sea más popular. Es algo que se trabaja activamente en comunidad, ¿sí? Como pensar en eso, en que cada uno y cada una es importante en la comunidad. No es el trabajo de una sola persona, es todos, todas, echando hacia el mismo lugar. I love it. And I think people like hearts.
I can't see anything for some reason. I can't see like any other comments.
No!
It's okay, but you have to let me. So you have to let me know if anyone like asks a question or something, because I can't see anything for some reason. But it's okay.
Well, like
maybe in the next hour. Maybe the next hour when there's like when we start the chat again, then maybe I'll see it. But right now, I can't see it. I can't see anything right now for some reason.
Well, this is your time, guys, for say something for him. Like,
yeah, if you have anything bad to say, you can say it now, because I'm not going to see it.
Right. So this is another question. How to recover a community that is not as strong as it used to be. So I'm going to translate that when you think about that. I'm going to translate to Spanish. ¿Cómo recuperamos una comunidad que antes fue fuerte y ahora ya no lo es tanto?
Okay, cool. So for here in Toronto, we used to have a locking community before I started locking. Actually, Scramble Lock would know more about it, because he was living here before he moved to where he's living now. So they had a locking community, and they had people that were, teaching and stuff like that. They were making locking battles or locking contests and locking events, funk events. And, that was like pretty much right before I started again. So I didn't have a chance to experience it. But over time, like, there wasn't much locking in our city, so we would have, so it was hard for me to find the style. And that's why, like, when I found the one teacher that I was learning under, I went to his classes all the time, because I really wanted to learn. And eventually, like, and it goes back to community, right? Like, it goes back to the topic community, how we need each other. So there's other lockers in our city that existed, but the important thing is to come together and really share ideas of like how we can start building this thing and really help each other. So the first thing that we started doing was like running sessions, having sessions like consistently. Well, I would say like back in the day, we weren't doing it consistently. It was just like, I don't know, once a month or once every 2 weeks. It was just like messaging each other on Facebook, like, hey, you want a session? Okay, sure. And then we meet up. Until like we realized like the only way to build the community again is to have consistent sessions. Having consistent sessions is the most important thing. So having a spot for a session, maybe like every like Wednesday night or something like that, or Friday night, like pick any day and then have session there. But every single week you have to be there. So even if you are the only person there at that session, you're going to be the only person at that session, and you make sure that you are there all the time. So that's why it's great to have people who can help you out. So let's say like you're sick or you're busy or something like that, then, you know, you don't have to be at the session. You can have another one of your people take care of it for you as well. And from that on, you keep building those sessions and, you know, having people teach classes too, so that people know, okay, if I want to learn locking, I can go to these classes, and then I can take what I learned in the classes and then go and practice at these sessions. And then, you know, letting everyone know about parties and stuff like that, because the most important thing is the party, right? To get down with everyone. That community aspect is the most important thing. That social aspect is the most important thing. So, yeah, so that's why social media is really important, because it allows us to really connect a lot easier. So yeah, letting people know on social media about like what's happening. So like I showed you, I made a graphic for like a schedule of everything that happens in our locking community. And like I run something called TO locking with another person in my city. And then we just, you know, we're trying to build this thing. So yeah, having that social media presence is quite important too, because everyone's on social media. And making sure that you have like a group that can show like everything that's like locking related. So you have like, okay, this is the classes that are happening this week in locking. This is all the parties happening. And this is like our session day. And the way that we built our session was to not just have it just lockers. We included everyone. We said, okay, this is a funk session, but we're going to have whackers, people who do hustle, popping, breaking, if you like just have everyone all together, right? And then I remember like people really enjoyed it, because like this is like a session that people haven't had in a long time. You know, really just coming together to enjoy music, exchange ideas, cipher, you know, like it was a good time. And then from then on, that's how we keep building it. Nice. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love that. You told me that before, and I just like,
yeah.
Yes.
And it's important with locking, because like if you don't have that many lockers, then you're going to have to include other people at first, right? So it just like, because like even then, like that's why we thought like whacking was the best kind of people to add into our locking sessions, because it was like, okay, we all share the same music, right? Poppers can come to, breakers can come to, like anyone can come. Like if you are okay with funk music, just you can all get down with us, right? So that's why like we realized like we can't just be like only locking, right? So having everyone too is what really helped us grow. So yeah, that would be my suggestion if you're trying to build in your city.
That's how we do it here in Bristol. Like when I started the sessions here, because there was a lack of sessions.
Yeah.
The stronger community here is the breaking community, right? So, and they're like really generous, because when I started the sessions, they are all styles, and we play all kind of music, so it's not just funk. So we play also we play hip hop and house, and and they're really supportive about that, because they say, oh, also we can take that as inspiration for new moves or like new flows, you know, like they always say that, like in that kind of session, you can learn also from all the dancers. So it's inspiring.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Actually, whackers have really inspired me with my locking, because like whackers really have that element of just like really feeling that music and really taking their time to slow down and things like that. And even like with the stuff that they do with their arms, like they have all these different pathways that they have with their arms, and like you know, I thought, hey, like I think lockers can like do that too. So, you know, when they do like all their, I'm like figure like, okay, so they like to really use the dimensions around their head and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, maybe lockers can do that too with the wrist rolls and stuff like that. Really fun, trying to find different pathways around our bodies with it too. So yeah, everyone can inspire you. And like you see breakers, it's like, oh, I can take their ground moves and I don't know, combine it with my alpha or something like that.
Yeah.
So we all can learn from each other. Yeah.
And also it's like, if you're like the only locker there, you sort of like, you represent the style, and you can inspire people to start locking as well, I believe.
Yeah, that's really why we come together, so we can show that there is a locking community, and that's why like you need your friends who are lockers to come support and be in the same room to show that there is like this locking community, right? So it's like, okay, there is like let's say it's only like 5 of you, but hey, all 5 of you can still make an impact in that room. So maybe one of those people who are whacking or popping can be like, you know what, I really like locking. I think I want to learn now, right? And even for me, it's like, I never really considered training in whacking, but until I started working with a lot of whackers and sessioning with them, it's like, okay, like I wouldn't mind learning a bit more about whacking and learning more about that culture. Yeah. So yeah.
Nice. Okay, time to translate all of that.
Yeah. Like, once I stop talking, so you have time to translate.
I love it. Okay, here we go. Bien ahí. Entonces la pregunta fue como cómo recuperamos una comunidad que antes fue fuerte y ahora no tanto. Él habla desde su experiencia ahí en Toronto. Also, like Scramble Dog was watching and he said something like family affair, he said. So
yeah, he had a really, I didn't get a chance to attend, but then he had an event called Family Affair, or was it his event? I'm not quite sure if it was his event. But I know like they combine 2 different styles in like a 2v2 battle. So they combined like locking and whacking for one edition. So yeah, that sounded like it was dope. So I'm not sure if it was his, if he can confirm that. I think it was, yeah.
Oh yeah, locking and whacking is a family affair. I think they did something like that last year in London here. They did whacking and locking together, 2 against 2.
Yeah. I think like locking and whacking are, even though they're very 2 different styles, like there's a lot of things about them that like, they share the same element. Maybe it's like because it almost comes from the same time. Maybe it's the element of funk or disco, but like, yeah, the spirit I feel can be quite similar.
We got 20 seconds left.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna save this, and then we're gonna jump back again for finishing this section of community. So jump back, and we carry on talking about it. Bien, thank you. Hablando de la importancia, digamos, de esto, de cómo recuperar la comunidad cuando ya era fuerte antes y ahora no tanto, ¿bien? Entonces, él habla desde su experiencia ahí en Toronto, que él habla que en su momento hubo una muy fuerte, menciona Scramble Dog, que está acá viendo la charla. Si no lo conocen, vayan y investiguen. Había batallas, eventos, había de todo, estaba pasando todo, él se muda, incluso cuando se muda desde ese lugar, Scramble se va por otro lado, y cuando Keegan empieza, ya no había tanto. Incluso acuérdense lo que él menciona, que él le recostó llegar a un profe de locking específicamente, ¿sí? Entonces, creo él lo que menciona ahí, que era la dificultad de distribuir la data, de conectar. Faltaba eso. Había algo como que faltaba una comunicación. Y una falta de distribución de lo que se sabía. Entonces, ¿cuál fue la clave? La session, el encuentro, ¿sí? Pero no solamente la session consistentes. Eso es lo que marca él. La única manera de tener sellos consistentes que ocurren algo como constante, que la gente sepa que ocurre, irregularmente. Semanales mejor, si se puede. Si tenés un espacio, que sea algo consistente, que la gente sepa que eso ocurre, pero también distribuir esa información, ¿no? Que se sepa llegar a usar las social media o las redes sociales para elaborarla a full a las redes sociales, para que esa data llegue y la gente tenga acceso a cuándo ocurren, a qué hora, que haya grupos informando eso. Y aún él menciona de que la session, si organizas session, tenés que estar ahí siempre. Así seas vos el único o la única en la session, vos tenés que estar. Así sean dos. Porque así se empieza y se tiene que salir con ese trabajo. A veces tenés más gente y a veces menos. Tenés que estar ahí. Y habla la importancia de la distribución de quién organiza la session. Porque si todo recae en una persona, cuando esa persona no esté, eso se cae. Entonces tenemos que trabajar en equipo para que todos sintamos la responsabilidad del trabajo de la session. No solamente una persona. Entonces, si por un día una persona se enfermó o lo que sea, no puede estar ahí, no se cae la session, no se cae todo el trabajo de comunidad. ¿Se entiende? Habla de la información específica, el uso de las redes sociales, tener grupos, tener páginas, Instagram, que hoy todo el mundo usa redes sociales. Entonces, si las sabemos usar, esa información llega. Entonces la gente sabe dónde está la session, en dónde se hace, a qué hora. Otro punto importantísimo es que las session no las hace, por ejemplo, en su experiencia, no son solamente de locking, son funk styles. Entonces invitan a poppers, a whackers, a b-boys, b-girls, porque también así, y la comunidad de locking es muy pequeña todavía, es como que se necesita de ayuda de las otras comunidades. Entonces así la session va a ser más grande, va a haber más disfrute, va a haber más fiesta. Entonces no nos cerramos a solamente un estilo, porque es como que cuando apenas está creciendo necesitamos de ayuda. Entonces por eso crear ese espacio para más estilos también es una clave, es importante. Y eso a su vez, que yo le digo, porque eso también acá lo hacemos en Bristol, que es la session que yo organizo, son all styles. Y también sirve a manera de inspiración, porque de pronto él dice, él veía a los whackers, como hacían los brazos, y dice, eso me inspira a mí, a lo mejor con el locking puedo flashear algo así. Y esto es inspiración, y vos a lo mejor con tu locking inspirás a un b-boy, y el b-boy viene o la b-girl viene y te inspira para hacer algo en el piso, y así hacer un alfa, qué sé yo, y meter otro combo, y así. Es un motivo de inspiración. Y también yo le digo que si sos el único locker, o son poquitos los lockers que están en la session, hay que representar, digamos, representás el estilo. Y aún sean poquitos o poquitas los lockers, las lockers, puedes crear un gran impacto. Y eso también puede generar que la gente quiera aprenderlo al estilo. Entonces, bueno, y ahí mostraban lo de, cuando me mencioné Stop&Talk, el evento Family Affair, es, por ejemplo, esa modalidad de batalla que emparejan a un locker y un whacker, batallar en contra de otro locker y un whacker. Entonces, también en los eventos se puede hacer esos cruces y terminan siendo como muy buenos y inspiran. Good. People I love next. Some subscribers who help my community a lot. Yes.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Scramble is watching this right now, but actually Scramble's helped my community a lot because he used to be from here, but he moved over to a city like 5 hours away called Montreal. But yeah, like I've went to him a lot for different kinds of advice about how to build community because like we were so lost. Like I didn't know like how to build this thing. And, you know, we're just like, so Scramble, like how can we build community? Because like Montreal has a strong locking community. And we're just like, so how can we do the same thing in our city? And he's the one that said, the most important thing that you need to have is sessions consistently. Every single week, have a session. It doesn't matter if you're the only person there. You know, if you're the only person there, you're the only person there, right? And yeah, so, you know, we kind of took that message and be like, okay, we have to make sessions. And every single week, we're going to host it somewhere. So, yeah. And now it's been like 3, almost 4 years. And, you know, of course, like before the virus, we were, you know, doing sessions all the time. But now, now we're just at home. So, but yeah, I was going to say, so yeah, so another aspect that we did to build our community was to do something called mini battles. So it's not serious at all. Like, it's just like, it's not like a big event or big battle or anything like that. Really all we do is just like once a month or so, like at the session, like once a month, we'll just have like, okay, Maggie's gonna be judging, and sign up, just pay like, I don't know, $2 or something like that, or something like that, very small amount, so that the winner can get like that money, that small amount of money. And people sign up, and then they just battle. You just play the music off of your computer or your iPod, and yeah, that just allows people to train. So at least having that, so people have like the incentive to train like every single time, and really keep bringing up their skills, has been a good way to really build that community aspect in locking. So
nice.
So yeah,
yeah, that's something that we're gonna be. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the questions that I had further on, like the goals for the dancers. But before going into that we link it with something else, and then we can come back here afterwards, like about the mini battles and this system. Can we talk a little bit about the role of a leader, or what is required and what means to be a facilitator?
What it means to be a facilitator. So you have to realize that people are looking up to you as a leader. So beyond just being a good dancer or a good teacher, you have to be also a good role model and a good person. Like, you can't be facilitating sessions or teaching classes and trying to build community, but also like doing things on the side that are like, not good or questionable, right? So you have to be like well-rounded in all those things. So if you're just like trying to build a locking community, but then you're also like doing crime on the side, then it's like, that doesn't make sense. You shouldn't be doing that, because people are looking up to you. And that's what I say about community, is like, it's a place to really have, people need this community. People need the space to, escape from whatever it is that they're doing in life, right? So, we all have dance, and like, we all have this like dance and this community to really come together, so we can just like have fun and forget about everything else that's going on in our lives. So, and that's why like we have to ensure that as leaders that we are creating that safe space for everyone. And it can be very dangerous if you're not. So that's really like why it's important as a leader that you're making sure that you keep yourself in check, to make sure that you have good values too as a human being, right? So yeah, but also like as a leader too, let's just focus on the dance aspect. Aside from being a good person, you also have to make sure that you are pointing people in the right direction. No pun intended. But yeah, like, you want to make sure that, especially when it comes to street dance and preserving culture, preserving history, preserving the integrity of the dance, you have to make sure that people have the correct knowledge too, right? So for me, it's like I make sure that I point people in the right direction for like, who's a good teacher for this style, where's a good place to go session, if people want to travel, it's like, what's a good city to go to? It's like, you should go to this city, they have a great locking community over there. So what else can I say? And yeah, making sure that, let's say like for me, because I also teach, so I make sure that I keep up to date with like my knowledge in locking or whatever dance style that I do, constantly training, talking to people, like exactly what you're doing right now, where you're trying to seek knowledge too. So that's a great example of a community leader. So yeah, that's what I can say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's translate that. Hablo Let's go. Hablo del rol del líder o del facilitador en la comunidad. ¿Sí? ¿Cuál es, o sea, qué tenemos que entender por ese rol y qué es importante? Digamos, ¿qué es lo importante de ese rol? Creo, dice él, que es darnos cuenta que la gente te ve como un líder, más que un buen bailarín, un profe, te ven como un modelo, ¿sí? Y también tenés que trabajar, digamos, en ser eso, el modelo y ser una buena persona. Son como, si vos sos como el modelo, ¿no? Sos como el líder o el facilitador, y a la par estás haciendo como cosas sospechosas, cosas raras fuera de la comunidad, es como que no va emparejado. Entonces, eso la gente lo ve, digamos. Entonces, si estás en ese rol, tenés que trabajar en ese aspecto y tomártelo con responsabilidad, porque estás trabajando con la comunidad, ¿sí? Y la comunidad es ese espacio seguro, que la gente lo toma como ese espacio seguro, lo necesita, ¿sí? Es un escape, es un refugio donde nos juntamos, donde olvidamos lo que ocurre afuera. Todo lo malo afuera de la comunidad es nuestra casa, ¿sí? Entonces, como líder, como facilitador, vos estás creando ese espacio, vos estás facilitando ese espacio, ¿sí? Y él habla de que tenés que estar chequeándote a vos mismo todo el tiempo, o a vos misma. Y que estás dirigiendo a las personas hacia el lugar correcto. Por ejemplo, porque tu intención es la preservación de la cultura, tu intención es la preservación del street dance, del conocimiento. Entonces, vos tenés que estar actualizado o actualizada a quiénes son los maestros, las maestras, si alguien viene hacia vos, ella está enseñando, che, ¿a qué ciudad puedo ir para tal cosa? Pum, pum, pum. Estás ahí al tanto de lo que está ocurriendo. Así que eso es importante. Mantenerse actualizado o actualizada y seguir estudiando y eso. Y tomártelo de esa manera, digamos, esa responsabilidad. Nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Because some of the questions I got here, like we pretty much, some of them, like we were talking about that stuff. So let's go back into, because you were using these things about mini battles as goals or motivation for dancers, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that, like how we can have that, and then the importance of clubbing. What do you think about that?
Okay. Yeah, because like I said, nowadays, what really drives the street dance world is the aspect of competition and contests, right? Like how I talked about, summer dance, just a boo. Well, now it's not around anymore, but before the whole virus and pandemic happened, like, these were really big events that people were looking forward to, as well as like, every country and every city has its own like competitions and contests for whatever dance styles that are really prominent over there. But yeah, that's really what drives our culture now. So I guess like as like a very small stepping stone for people to work towards is just having these really fun and light community battles. You can call it just a community battle or community contest or mini battle, mini contest, like whatever it is that you want to call it. But because like sometimes it's not easy for a new dancer just to jump into like a big battle, right? So sometimes like these small battles are very good like opportunities for them to train in that world, but it's still like, really light and really fun so that they don't feel so much pressure, right? But even then for us, it's really good because we often don't have too many whacking battles or too many locking battles or even popping battles. So like with any of the styles that we do that it's not that popular, these mini battles have really kept people to keep training. So yeah, that's why like I would say that it would be a good idea for your community to try those out. And so yeah, I mean, I think they can really benefit from that. So, yeah, and you don't really have to spend that much money. Like, you already, like, you could really just go outside too. Like, a mini battle could just be like in the park or on the beach. I don't know, like, just have a chair, have music, and just tell people come to this place. And, you know, everyone just had to spend like I don't know, I guess where you're from right now, like, you can just like, okay, it's just like €1 to enter. Or is it pounds or in Bristol?
Pounds, yeah.
Yeah, or one, yeah, be like £1 or so to enter, £2 to enter. Winner takes the whole thing, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you create the brackets like on a piece of paper. So yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say about clubbing? The importance of clubbing?
Very important. Because the most important thing is music, right? So music should be the first thing that we focus on. And, you know, if it wasn't for the music, there wouldn't be the dance. But majority of us, and even like myself included, like, I was attracted to the dance first before the music, but then I started realizing like the music aspect was the most important. So yeah, you know, it's because when it comes to the whole culture, it's not just about the dance aspect. It's also like, you know, the DJs are also part of the culture too. So going to these clubs and giving respect to the DJs, because like they've worked hard on their crafts too. And then, you know, they're going to play something that you're going to like dancing to. So, and yeah, like that's where locking, or most of these dances were born from, was that kind of club environment. And that's the element that we really can't forget, right? Like, locking didn't happen because someone was playing their iPod in the hallway on their like little speaker, right? Like, they were actually at a party, and then that's how locking was born. And then every single time, they were always looking for a place to go and party. Like, you know, Don Campbell Lock was in the clubs, right? You would see him on Soul Train. You would see him just everywhere. So people would tell you stories about what the original lockers were doing in the clubs, and they're just telling you like the craziest stories, like Don Campbell jumping out of like speakers from 15 feet away, slapping his knees on the ground, and he's like sweating and he has to change his clothes, and it's just like, you know, just hearing about that is like, that's crazy. But like, I feel like a lot of people just don't do that nowadays. They don't really care so much about the parties. They just care more about like, okay, the contests, and that's it, right? So in a way, we need to go back to having appreciation for the music, and that's really like what the DJs are going to do for you. So yeah, that's why it is important.
Maybe we should like put in more parties out there with sessions, you know, like,
yeah,
apart from doing like mini battles, with creating parties, like parties or something like that.
Yeah, like, sessions are great, but a party is like a session times like 100, you know, or times 10. You know, it's like just a session, but it's so much better because you have a bar, you can drink. You know, you have music with a good sound system, and a DJ's playing for you, so you don't have to keep pressing like next on the iPod or your computer, and, you know, have that weird pause, like a song ends and you have like 5 seconds of no music, and then the song comes on again. So, so yeah, that's why everyone should go party at least like once every week or once every 2 weeks. So yeah.
Good. Bien. Le pregunto de... se me ocurre esto. La importancia, bueno, esto de los objetivos como bailarines, ¿no? Como qué podemos hacer. Y él habla de estas mini competencias que se pueden organizar en la comunidad, mini batallas, que no necesariamente tienen que ser en un gran lugar, pueden ser afuera, o sea, lo que esté a mano, ¿sí? Se puede cobrar un poco monto la entrada y el ganadora se lleva todo lo recaudado. Incentivos así, pequeños incentivos, ayudan a los que recién empiezan o a los que están probando esto, ¿sí? Es como que te da la oportunidad de probar de qué se trata esto, antes de irte a un gran evento, digamos, porque es re difícil. Si vos estás recién arrancando, proyectar un eventazo, ¿entiendes? Sabés que el level va a ser re grande y Y es como que no hay, empezás y tenés eso, así no hay nada en el medio. Y estas mini batallas, estos eventos más relajados, más familiares, te ayudan como que prepararte para eso que después es mucho más grande, digamos. Así que tener en mente eso, digamos, dentro de la comunidad, generar esos espacios, y también eso mantiene el ritmo del entrenamiento, digamos, pues mantiene la gente ocupada, mantiene en ese ritmo, y eso, digamos. Y a su vez, de eso, además de las competencias y la batalla, es muy importante el factor fiesta, la joda, y te lo voy a decir así. Porque allá en los 70, todo esto, digamos, todo el factor fiesta, todo eso, era una locura, ¿sí? Y la historia de Don y todas sus anécdotas de las cosas locuras que él hacía pasaban en los clavos, ¿sí? Cuando el loco saltaba de la escalera, bajaba, se sacaba el sombrero, o tiraba el sombrero, se tiraba de la escalera y cazaba el sombrero de abajo. ¿Sí? Esas cosas así exquisitas que hacía él ocurrían en los clubs, ¿sí? Entonces, imagínense lo que era eso. Y toda esta música, digamos, todos estos estilos nacieron así, en ese ambiente, ¿sí? Y habla del factor del DJ, la importancia en la cultura. Digamos, la música nos mueve, la música está primero. Y es lo que deberíamos recordar, ¿sí? Él, si bien dice, yo empecé por la danza primero, pero después, acuérdense lo que él dijo, lo que lo transforma y lo que hace ir más allá, es cuando él entendió que la música es lo primero. La música es lo que te mueve, ¿sí? Mucha gente, y muchas veces él dice, la gente se olvida de ese factor, del factor fiesta, del factor celebración. Entonces dice que eso debería ser parte como de la rutina del bailarín. Es decir, cada 2 semanas, todos los fines de semana salgo de joda. Me voy con mi grupo, ¡pum!, salimos a bailar. Y salir a bailar, ¿sí? Es muy importante ese tipo de entrenamiento, por así decir. Good. So I got one more question.
Sure.
And then we can ask people if they want to, I don't know, make some questions or something like that.
Sure.
Okay, no, 2 more questions. Got 2 more questions.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, that's
first one. How we approach studio dancers. All right. Okay, that's one question.
Yeah, I think seems like Trouble Lock asked that question about studio dancers or choreo dancers. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that hopefully will answer that question. Mm-hmm. And the last one is how to appeal youth generations that might not be identified with funk music.
Right.
Okay. Boom. Okay, let's go into studio dances. ¿Cómo nos acercamos? Que I will say that in Spanish. ¿Cómo nos acercamos a cómo llegamos a bailarines de estudio? Y segundo, ¿cómo apelamos a las nuevas generaciones de jóvenes que no necesariamente se sienten identificadas con la cultura funk? Yeah, here we go. Studio dancers.
How do we approach studio dancers? That's a very good question because I haven't really figured that out myself yet.
Nice.
Of how we can actually like appeal to studio dancers. Now, by studio dancers, are you talking about like choreo dancers, or are you just talking about like?
It's like the person that goes to the studio and trains, but then this is only the dancers that we only go to studios. Like regardless if it's just freestyle classes or choreography classes.
Yeah.
Is that person that only, like, you know, they need the mirrors, they need like go in there, like in the space.
Yeah. Well,
they might want, but they don't know, like, you know, I don't know.
You see, like I've had a chance to be able to talk to people who are in the studio all the time, take classes, and you know they can learn a choreography and pretty much like kill that choreography and do that choreography really well. And when it comes to like asking them about street dance, like, you know, doing more freestyle or going to sessions, going to the club or stuff like that, like they don't really have any idea about that side of the world. They, you ask them about that and they're just like really confused, or they might be like really intimidated. So like the most important thing is like for me, like I teach at a studio. So for me to teach at a studio, occasionally you'll have like a studio dancer that comes take my class, or a few of them that do take my class, because sometimes they do want to learn locking and they do want to learn more foundation. So I use that platform to educate them about like, okay, you know, I have an annual event coming, so I hope to see you there. It's like going to be like a lot of lockers and whackers from like all over that are going to be here in our city. So, you know, it'd be good to check it out so you can see locking like in a high level. Also tell them about sessions like, hey, like this is a freestyle dance. So, you know, take what you learn from this class and then just go and practice it on your own at this session. And just like, you just got to try your best to keep informing them of all these things that are happening, or, you know, informing them more and giving them more knowledge about this dance and the culture and about street dance in general. But you can't force them though. That's the thing. So the way that I see it is that you can't expect, if you really want to spread this dance style or spread the culture of street dance, you can't expect them to come to you. If anything, you have to go to them, right? Go into their world and sort of get like a view of what they're thinking and what is it about street dance that makes them not want to do it, and what can we do to make it more appealing for you, and you try to find that information from them, right? But it's also like important for their teachers in the studio too to be like aware that, you know, if you are doing like something like quote unquote like hip hop choreography, you know, it's up to those teachers to guide them in the right direction. So, you know, letting them know that there's more to it than just the studio, there's more to it than just taking class, right? You know, there's like events and parties and, you know, sessions that you should be supporting as well. So, yeah, like I said, like I don't have the full answer to that because I'm still trying to see how I can get these studio dancers to be interested. And I know a lot of them are, but like I know like it's just difficult for them to really like want to jump into this world too sometimes, right? So you know, we just do our best to be as accommodating as possible, let them know, and you know, if they are interested in coming to a session, be like, hey, you know, we do have this session, we do have this party, hope to see you there, it's going to be a really good time, I know you'll have a lot of fun. And yeah, you know, some of them have come through, so it's been great. But yeah, like other than the studio, just trying to use my social media, try to use social media platforms too. Like I did a promo video for the studio, because like they do have like, they do allow you to do promo videos for free to promote your class. So that's why like I did a locking promo video to a Busta Rhymes song, because I'm like, well, I don't want to do funk because maybe like not everyone will relate to funk. Maybe people relate more to hip hop. So I did it to a hip hop song, then I put up on there. I'm not sure if it works, but hey, like I tried, right? So
exactly, you gotta try it.
Yeah, like people were like, actually like, well, I did get a few jobs out of that though. Like some people asked me to come teach their like companies and stuff like that out of that one video. But you know, that's why like you just got to keep, you know, showing people what this is, and hopefully they come through, right? That's all we can do. Just hope for it.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna translate that before we jump in the last question.
Sure.
Le pregunto cómo llegar a los bailarinas de estudio. Y él me pregunta a qué me refiero con esa descripción. Le digo, es la persona que va al estudio y como que no hace otra cosa más que estar en el estudio. O sea, que le recuesta tal vez ir a las sessions o batallar o hacer freestyle. Como que son bailarines de estudio, ¿sí? Entonces, y él me dice que muchas veces ellos o ellas no tienen idea de lo que está pasando fuera de ese mundo del estudio, ¿sí? A veces se sienten intimidados, intimidadas. Entonces, él dice, particularmente yo enseño en estudios, dice él. Así que él dice, yo uso esa plataforma para difundir la cultura y usa esa oportunidad para informar lo que está pasando, ¿sí? Como onda, che, hay una fiesta, hay una session, vení, sumate, esto como que use la plataforma de la clase para informarlos, ¿sí? Y es algo constante, vuelve a marcar la constancia de este tipo de actividades, ¿sí? Y dice él, vos no podés forzarlas, ¿sí? Si vos querés, si tu objetivo es difundir esta cultura y preservarla, no podés esperar que ellos y ellas van a venir hacia vos. Vos tenés que ir a buscarlos, por así decir. Y como tratar de ponerte en el lugar de ellos, ellas, investigar qué pasará, qué les pasará por la cabeza, las emociones. Y nada, ser empáticos, digamos, por ese lado. Y eso, seguir usando, si sos profe, usar esa plataforma, y si no, también conectar con los otros profes y hacerles llegar la data, como haciendo, che, mira, está este evento, está esto, está este grupo en Facebook, pasarles la data a los profes y pedirles que se lo digan a sus alumnos, alumnas también, ¿sí? Por ejemplo, él habla de nuevo el uso del social media, de las redes sociales. Por ejemplo, él dice, trabajó con un estudio que hicieron un video promo de locking y que él personalmente dijo, vamos a hacer música de hip hop, por ahí con esto llama más la atención. Dice, no sé si me fue bien, me fue mal, pero tenés que probar. Dice, saqué un par de laburos de eso. Oh, nice point, Scramble.
Yeah, Scramble's saying maybe our focus is in the wrong place. Why do we want to attract studio dancers so much? Yeah, that's actually a good point. Like maybe we're focusing too much on like a certain group that like, okay, like we're not forced, but we're trying to convince them that they should be doing our dance or our locking. But sometimes it's like, maybe they just don't want it and we can't change that. Right? So because like they're so into their world of what they're doing, and it's like maybe because of that they're so invested in it that they don't want to try something else, right? And it's not their fault for that, you know, and we can't really force them to come to us. So maybe we do have to find different areas and find different avenues of like how we can attract people into locking. Like, I don't know, maybe doing sessions outside, and maybe someone, like I know in Montreal, they have like sessions outside. So maybe people pass by and then they're like, you know, hey, what's this dance? Maybe we should try it out. So I don't know. But
like, what is the same, like choreo folks and street dances are two sides of the same coin. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Because like, I think when it comes to like these studio dancers or choreo dancers who are like already, yes, they are on the other side of the coin. It's just like you're so close to us. You're like, just why don't you just step over the line and just like see what we're all about, you know? But then they just don't want to cross that line sometimes. So yeah, sometimes it's like, well, who else can we get to be interested in this dance style, right? Because I do feel that like choreo dancers or studio dancers can be interested in locking, and I know a lot of them are, and they do like have somewhat of an understanding of it, but you know, what is it about them that doesn't make them want to try it out? Like, I don't know. That's why I'm saying like it's just a hard question to answer. So yeah, exactly. Maybe that's like a discussion for another day, is like having and I know you're doing a talk with Scramble Lock eventually, or some other people, so you can ask their advice about, or ask their opinion about how we can really build community.
What people are saying is because studio, wow. Okay, do you want to read what? Okay.
Yeah.
There's like some more comments at the top.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. It makes no sense for us to be separated and see each other's value. We can train differently and for different purposes, but to not see the value of each other is a different issue for me. Yeah. Because locking wasn't created to dance in front of a mirror. I think it was created in a party context and for having fun and express. And it's because studio dances appropriate the culture. Yes. I would say that's a huge problem in the studio world. You know, a lot of them just sort of take, like, a lot of times, like, people just have taken locking and like, I'm not trying to make this interview like, you know, negative or anything like that, and I don't want to like discuss too much like politics and stuff like that. Maybe it is worth mentioning though. But yeah, like, people have taken, like, people who have never really done locking, or they've learned a bit of locking but never really decided to pursue the culture even more or look into the culture even more. It's like when Bruno Mars first came out with his, like, starting to really get into more funk. Like, he first came out with like Uptown Funk, like, I don't know how many years ago, maybe like that was like 2012, 2013. I can't quite remember. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you see like the studio dancers are starting to do locking in their video that reaches like 1 million views, right? But like, you know, of course they're not doing it correctly. They're not doing it right. But, you know, they decide that they're only going to use that dance when it's convenient, because it's like, oh, dope, it's a funk song that came out, I'm going to do this funk dance, so I'm going to now start adding locking into it. And it's like the same thing for like a lot of different styles nowadays, right? Like, we now see what's happening with like, you know, light feet and things like that. Like, no one is, like, a lot of people are, you know, they see light feet as a trend, so, you know, a lot of them will start using it in their choreography, but they haven't really invested in much into learning about the dance or the culture, but they'll still use it when it's convenient, right? So, you know, I would say like, yeah, I would say like locking would be no different. You know, once a funk song comes out, it's like, cool, now everyone's going to start pulling out locking moves into their routines. Yeah. But yeah, what Scramble Lock was saying is like, yes, we don't have to be separated. Pyro, who was the first person to start training me, did this dance series on YouTube, and, well, I think he posted it all over, called Locking in a Different Light. And it was like, the concept of locking in a different light was to be able to showcase dancers locking to different kinds of music.
What's the name of the series?
Scramble just said it. It's Locking in a Different Light. So you'll see it right there. And he didn't use lockers because he wanted to show that there's basically all these different kinds of dancers from like different parts of the community. So you have choreo community, industry community, and you know, whatever. And then he just like put them all together, taught them a lock and choreo, and then showcased to people that, look, like, these people can do the dance, so you can learn it too. So that was really like what the purpose of that series was. And he was very successful when it was like around. Like, I remember he taught a workshop, and then a whole bunch of people came afterwards to really want to learn more about locking. And I know that he has his company that now, like, he trains. Actually, his company is great in terms of like, you know, I guess being the bridge of bringing like that community into like kind of the street dance world, you know, for people who kind of want to start training in street dance more in like kind of like a fun or safer environment. So yeah. Oh shoot.
I'm gonna like translate a little bit of that in Spanish, because maybe some people are lost about what's happening. ¿Qué pasó? Bueno, surgió la discusión en un buen sentido, la discusión de esto. Scramble Lock pone, no estaremos centrándonos tal vez en el lugar equivocado, tratando de llamar bailarines de estudio adentro de esta cultura. Y otro de ahí, Travel Lock, dijo, pero el street dance y los bailarines de street dance y los bailarines de coreografía son dos caras de la misma moneda. Entonces, a raíz de eso surge esta como discusión, planteo. Otra de las chicas, creo que fue una chica ahí que dijo, es apropiación cultural lo que están haciendo. Y bueno, como que está este debate, digamos, de que sería un debate más largo, digamos, que no se puede como resumir así tan fácilmente de cómo llegar a los bailarines, y deberíamos llegar a esos bailarines de estudio, pero a su vez también menciona que eso pasa en los estudios con las coreografías, digamos, como pone el ejemplo de cuando salió Uptown Funk, que todos salieron a hacer coreografía y cero idea de los fundamentos. Entonces, se veían en YouTube videos con millones de vistas, de gente que no tiene idea de locking, que coreografió algo, ¿viste? Y pero sin embargo, bueno, mencionan también del profe de él, Primero, de las series que tiene, que las pueden buscar, que se llama Looking in a Different Light, justamente que habían hecho series de personas que no eran lockers y cómo crearon algo y lo llevaron a una performance, y como que bueno, eso fue interesante de ver ese resultado, digamos. Pero bueno, es un debate complicado, y eso menciona como que tampoco es tan fácil de responder así. Él también está como tratando de pensar, él me decía, yo no tengo una respuesta específica, y es algo que también me estoy planteando. ¿Sí? Está como eso de si deberíamos buscar a esos bailarines, bailarinas, o no, esto, las dos caras de la misma moneda, y el tema de la apropiación cultural, digamos.
I feel like many times studio folks will avoid ciphering and battling because they only see value in crew competitions, and the street folks don't see the point building up skills in choreo because they'll focus on competitions, then possibly touring or showcasing, when all three adds to different facet values for us: ciphering, showcasing, battling. Yeah, I guess it all boils down to what your priorities are, really, right? Yeah. So for them, it's like, yeah, it's if they care more about like the crew competitions and like showcasing competitions and stuff like that, then that's their world, right? So what can you do to make our side more appealing for them? Like, yeah, I don't know, because like I think that they have such a, like, all those competitions are so prominent. Like, I don't know much about like the choreo world and things like that. I know like they have like World of Dance, and I know here like there's so many
Hip Hop International.
Hip Hop International. I don't know. Like I don't know much about that world, but there's so many crews here now. Like there's so many choreography crews and things like that. But you see, like, it's quite understandable if they're in their own world and their culture where it's huge. Like there's a huge prominence of it already. There's a lot of people in there, and it's a strong network and a strong community. So why would they leave that? And then you come to like the locking world, there's like, I don't know, 10 to maybe 20 of us here in our city at most.
Yeah.
So why would they want to come to us if it's like, there's nothing, they might feel like, oh, there's nothing for me here, and partying and, competitions, like, and stuff like that, and freestyling. But like, I guess like if they feel that they're in a strong network already, then they might feel like, okay, well, I'm doing something right. I don't need to leave this place. I'm okay where I am at. I'm okay where I'm at. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's
the thing is like just thinking this, because one of my students says that it's an studio dancer. I think for the teacher in the studio, she learned about street dance, right? So I think maybe the issue is when there's like appropriation of the culture, right? When a teacher is teaching locking and the teacher doesn't know what foundations are, and he's like maybe sharing wrong knowledge, right? So maybe that is something that we have to think about, instead of like maybe the people that know the foundation and then decide putting that effort of crew competitions, instead of freestyling or like doing ciphers. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They choosing like going, okay, my goal as a dancer, I know the foundations, I know what I'm doing, but I will decide go as a dancer in a crew for going to Hip Hop International, whatever. That's what I want to do, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like, for me, what's really appealing about this culture for me being in like, I guess, street dance or locking is the aspect of like just the aspect of being able to connect with different communities because of this dance, and just sharing the love of like music and movement, and, you know, being in a place all together and sharing that energy with each other, right? Maybe for them, it's because it's like their dream is to dance for Beyonce, dance for J-Lo, dance for Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
Maybe because like that's like such a huge goal for them, to maybe like they maybe feel that the aspect of the studio world or competition world, choreo world, maybe gets them to that level of fame that maybe they just don't see that they can achieve that with what we're doing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because like nowadays it's like, you know, what's most in terms of like what's most popular in dance videos on YouTube and Instagram is pretty much everything that's trendy, right? All the new dances, right? You know, like Millie Rock and, you know, the bop and things like that that's happening now. You know, you have that kid that was doing the floss, right? And he got millions and millions of views. And you see like all like the, you know, Millennium dance videos in LA, and like each video has like 5 million views or something like that. Juicy Slide, yeah, that TikTok. Oh.
Don't go in there.
I'm not gonna get to TikTok. Okay, so now anyways, so now the issue is like, should we keep doing our own thing? And I guess for the people who are here, who are listening, I guess like if they can answer, like, would it be ideal for us to utilize those platforms? Like, should we go on TikTok and stuff like that and start doing locking on there? Or, you know, should we just keep doing what we've been doing and hopefully it attracts the right people into it, right? I guess that's the question. Who's our locking beacon on TikTok? I don't know. Trouble. Maybe that should be you. Yeah. But Scramble was saying, as ambassadors for locking, we need to represent the culture for everyone. What's most important now is to build and strengthen the locking community. And first, in time, it will attract people to the dance. And, you know, that's like maybe the best thing to do. And that's what that's what we've all been doing, is just really focusing on ourselves, building the dance. You know, we're just hoping that one day people will appreciate it, people will accept it, and they will, you know, come over to our side and be part of us too. Right?
Yeah.
But also the question is accepting, like, if people don't, and it's just going to be us for the rest of our dance careers, our dance journeys, will we be okay with that? And I know I will be okay with that. Because, I mean, I surely hope that that's not going to be the case. Like, I do want this thing to grow bigger, but I'm just saying, if so happens the case that, you know, it's just the way it is right now and it just stays like that and we have to accept it as is, then it's like, I'll still be doing it. You know, I love the music enough to still keep doing it. So yeah, you know.
So we go probably 9 more minutes, and I really want to go into the youth generations, right? So because I teach kids, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's the challenge, or, you know, like maybe then yet they're not identified, they don't relate with funk music because that's not from their times, right? So how we appeal to youth generations then, how we make them feel the love of funk, you know what I'm saying? How would you, yeah. Because they maybe, as I say in the question, they might not feel identified with the you got to trick them. That's what
it's like dipping broccoli in chocolate and giving it to them so that they eat it, but then they're actually like eating their vegetables, right? It's like doing that.
Do you work with
kids?
Do you work with kids?
Sometimes. Not my favorite, but sometimes the kids are really good and really hungry, and that's where I'm like, okay, yes, like this makes me happy to teach kids, and they're really hungry to learn, and they just, you know, start doing the moves, and because like they're really like sponges, right? But sometimes they're like running all over the place. I'm like, oh, I'm like, okay, everyone come back. Scuba, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3. No! Come back! What are you doing? Come back here! I'm like, that's why, like, that's why, like, kids are too difficult. So, but you know what? Sometimes they're great, and you know they're really like attentive, and they're really listening. But I remember there's this one kid that he was like giving me so much attitude. He's like, I don't like this. What is this? I don't like this dance. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so what do you like to do? He's like, hip hop. I'm like, okay, so what's your favorite song to dance to? And he gave me some, like, you know, Post Malone.
Okay.
I don't know what. He's like the newer kind of like hip hop stuff. I don't really listen to him. But then I'm like, okay, tell you what, I'm going to put on a Post Malone song. What's your favorite Post Malone song? And then he was like, I forgot what it was. But then I played it and I started locking to it. I'm like, see? Yeah. You can lock to this kind of music too. And he was just like, okay.
Yeah. Whatever.
I'm like, okay, well, fuck this kid, whatever.
Yeah, no, what I mean.
But then the second time I came back, I'm like, oh, this kid again. But I started incorporating games in locking. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay, everyone get in a circle. And then everyone stick your hand out because we're going to do the give yourself 5. So what you're going to do is you're going to freestyle locking. And then you got to give high five to your friends in the class. And then they're all having so much fun. And that kid told me, I didn't like locking, but now I see why it's fun.
Yeah.
Granted, they were having more fun with the clapping and they weren't doing dancing, but still, they were like not even dancing. They're like just doing that. They're like, oh, high five. And then just doing stupid things like, you know, being in the circle and trying to like find different like positions to put their hand. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like appealing to the newer generation, my friend gave me the advice of when you start a locking class, or whacking class, don't use like funk or disco music. Start with like something that's more current. So like music that's more current, of course, like Bruno Mars, like top 40 kind of like, you know, top 40 kind of popular music. So like, you know, Bruno Mars or what else is there? Like, maybe like Lizzo, because Lizzo has like some funky stuff. Kendrick Lamar, Childish Gambino,
Nice.
Maybe like Chance the Rapper. I even like did some locking to Schoolboy Q. So yeah, I mean, you could like start introducing that kind of music because they know that music, right? That's the music that they hear today, and that's what they're all dancing to. So my strategy usually is like, okay, I'll show them funk. When I warm up, I do funk music. So, you know, I'll play the Prince, James Brown, The Time, and Rick James and all that stuff, right? Just to get them warmed up. And then I show them like, you know, the choreo and stuff like that, or the drills choreo. And then usually in some point in the class, I'm like, okay, I'm going to play this song, like a Rihanna song or something. And I'm like, hey, I can do this routine to that too. So at least like that kind of lets them be like, oh, so it's not like in its own separate box. I actually can still do this dance to like the music that I normally like dancing to. So that's usually the formula that I use. I can't necessarily say it works, but yeah, you can't, we have to find ways to innovate. Yeah. Instead of like, you have to find different strategies of how you can really appeal to other people. So yeah, that's what I can say about that.
And I think it's like understanding new generations, how the youth work nowadays, because we are in the social media era. They're like quick. They get things quicker. They need to be entertained, you know, kids, because they're like, they're picking up things really quickly. So you have to be in the same level with them. Otherwise they will be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but it's also like, I feel like also has to do with like the culture of where we're at. Because like you go to Japanese kids who are like 5 years. Oh, it's okay. You have these kids in Japan, 5 years old, just killing it, right? And you have like hundreds of these kids that are just like so focused and disciplined and learning locking and doing it so funky. And it's like, why can't we do that here too? Right?
I know.
So, I mean, even in Europe, like you got some kids like Darren Willis, like the jazz rock students, but then like they're pretty good at locking too. So, but in general, it's just like over here, I don't know, like, I don't know if it's like the nutrition or the food or just like kids are just, right? Oh. But then I think in Japan or places in Asia, it's like, you know, these kids are focused, determined, and, you know, you have a class of them and they're all just like.
We go a few seconds and I'm going to start a new one just to say goodbye. Okay?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so
we're not going to do another hour here because
yeah, well, I think we'll just end off. We'll end off here because
yeah, exactly.
You know, I think that, I mean, like I'm down to have like a different conversation another time, but I think that
exactly.
Because people have already been watching for 2 hours or so I think it's probably good to, we can like maybe go for another few minutes if you want to discuss any other issues or talk about different topics.
No,
but
I think we talk a lot and then the people just need to process this and digest it.
Yeah. So the point is, I
definitely want to thank the people. Thanks to being there.
Yeah. So I think the point is that we're just going to, we just need to figure it out. There's really no correct answer. We just have to figure it out as we go along. And the last thing that David Trouble Lock was saying is that yes, kids are raised different over there, while over here, the culture is just different. So, you know, we can't really change that. We just hope that maybe we do find some youth a group of youths who might be interested in it too. And it's really like making sure that you go to these studio owners and telling them the importance of locking, right? And really selling it to them why locking is important, why they should learn this dance style. And then from that point on, you know, yes, they can do their choreo and, you know, they can do their choreo and things like that, but then also be like, okay, so you're doing your choreo, hip hop, whatever, but you have to learn locking too, right? It's just like going to school, right? Like I hate math, but I have to learn math because that's just part of the curriculum at school. So it could be the same thing where you go to these schools, you're teaching locking. It's like, maybe you don't like locking, but you have to learn it, right? As part of the whole thing. So, but then within that, you have to figure out how can you make it likable for them. So, yeah. Chaz is saying funk and funky doesn't have to be old music. And I agree with that because
me too. Funk
is a feeling, right? The funk you can find in anything, right? You can find funk in, like funk doesn't necessarily mean funk music, right? Funk could be that just internal feeling that you get from whatever it is that you're listening to. And it's like up to us to really guide the youth or whoever, or people who are new to really understand that, right? Just one statement that I really heard from someone when it comes to like, why do people choose to do choreo instead of learning to freestyle? And what they were saying is that because human beings are designed to follow, right? And for that reason, people just choose to follow instead of really like trying to find who they are, right? So
Yeah, I like that.
You know, maybe that's why like freestyling is really scary for someone, because it's like, okay, I'm going out into the world on my own.
Exactly.
You hold the power to lead your people in any direction. So don't lead them in the wrong direction. Right? So because you have that power, because people are looking up to you, you have to make sure, that's why I said, you have to make sure you're a good human being first with good values, and also making sure that you have the correct knowledge that you can pass down. So yeah.
Good. Right, so I think we're going to finish with these words. And thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
On behalf of all the Argentinian community, we thank you. Gracias. And yeah, so thank you for the people that stay with us like 2 hours. So if you like started to watch like 2 hours ago, boom.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Yeah. Well,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, like I learned just as much too, because like I'm still learning myself, and you know, I'm trying to build my community still. So, you know, like having insight into what other people are thinking and what their opinions are, you know, can really help me too in continuing to build this thing. So,
yeah.
Cool,
okay,
cool.
so let's finish this. Because otherwise we're gonna carry on talking.
All right.
Thank you again.
Okay.
Gracias.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Stay safe.
Thank you so much. You too.
Okay. Bye everybody. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.